One of the things about any relationship or any child developing is that they have levels of support around them. Typical teenager, when he's about 14 or 15, they start to get a job, and what are the things that a typical teenager might do that make his life rich, give him opportunities to dream big, to have hope. We found out about circles of support some time ago, and we just felt that it would be a really good idea and a productive idea to get a group of intentional people to think about how we might be able to make Jack's life as great as it possibly could be.
A circle of support is a group of people coming together, friends, family, community members, around somebody to support their vision and their goals for their life. We've been meeting for about 5 or so years now. We usually meet at a house, usually our house. We have a little bit to eat and just try and keep a fairly focused agenda. As Jack's got older, he has led us through that more and more and tells us what he'd like to talk about and what the priorities are.
And what we did was we, as a circle, got together and to ask Jack what was he interested in, what kind of career would he like to do. We developed up 3 columns. One was the interest areas for Jack, and then we were looking at what the valued roles could be in the workplace, and then we had some conditions for success.
The main focus of Circle of Support has been to find jobs that would fit him and his interests.
He was very clear with us about wanting to be in paid employment. He wanted to be around young people. He mentioned he wanted to be with people he could have coffee with. He wanted to wear a nice suit.
The university wasn't necessarily the first priority for Jack, but what we did was we looked at the 3 columns, and I went back and talked to a few of my colleagues about some of the roles that Jack could play and some of the tasks that Jack could do, and what we found out was there was pockets of work that Jack could successfully do. Work experience was part of his school, and he came out 1 day a week for a couple of hours. It also was an opportunity for us to get to know Jack and what his capabilities were and what kind of roles and jobs he could do successfully.
And I think there was a really important process of learning from the work experience, making some adjustments, thinking together as a circle about what that might mean, and then keep building on that so Jack could be successful, which is what we all wanted in his new office job.
Julia definitely was key to success with Jack coming into the university. The job coach position was funded through the NDIS SLES funding. Luckily, Jack was given that funding early before he finished high school.
Hi, I'm Jack Kruger. I work at AUC. I ride bike and take bus and get AUC. I like working people. I do emails and winter and deliveries. I do deliveries, holiday, and radio. I do ASPA, I UC, search for in business, and I buy my own lunch from cafe.
Jack is doing his work so successfully that the relationships are expanding throughout the university, and we've now got other faculties who are wanting to poach Jack from us or utilise him to help him with their work as well. It's been a learning experience having Jack come on board, and it hasn't been completely smooth sailing. We've had to do a lot of learning about how to communicate the jobs to Jack efficiently and effectively. We use AnyDo, which is a system that tracks his tasks for the day, and it helps him independently move through each of the stages.
We tried to start this circle of support up about 4 or 5 years ago, and we got a lot of people in, and to a certain extent that was a little bit problematic. And so from there, about a year later, we went and made the circle a little bit tighter. And so the relationships that we had with different people were very close, but certainly the idea of asking people was a little bit scary to start with, but it was quite amazing to see how engaged they become with it and how responsible they were in taking on the role of being a member of the Circle of Support.
Oh, look, it's been an amazing journey being part of the circle. I think we've all learnt a lot about Jack, but about each other and how we strengthen relationships and community, and I've really valued being a part of that.
Personally, I've known Jack since he was about 10. Seeing him from when he was a boy who was struggling to tie his shoelaces to seeing him fulfil a valued work role here at the university as my colleague It's just the most rewarding thing I've ever been part of. It just is so rewarding for Jack, for UC, for our colleague, to have Jack with us and working with us as a colleague.